So today we're gonna work on trying to get one of the fenders off and possibly even the entire front clip off. Information is a little confusing on whether or not we can get the fenders separated, but we're gonna take a look and see what we can find. First thing we're gonna do is take the hood off. Not super complicated. There are two bolts on both sides. There's one here and one here. If I remember correctly, they are 1/2-inch sockets. Super simple. Easiest to have a second person on the other side to help take them off and pop the whole hood off. But if you take one side off and then go to the other side, not the end of the world. So we're gonna get that started, and we'll take a look under the fender once we get that removed. Okay, so the next step's gonna be trying to get that front grille off. See if we can get to any screws or bolts or nuts or whatever to take that, preferably the driver's side fender off, since the, well, passenger side's a little janked. So we're gonna see if we can get the driver's side off and then just keep the passenger side and that front together and take that all off in one piece and just keep the driver's side separate. So we're gonna get the grill off. There's about, well, on this one there's not that many left, but there's several Phillips screws along the top and sides of the front grill to get that removed. Alright, so that was pretty straightforward to take off. There are several screws on the top. There was about 5 screws to hold the headlight mount in. Pop those out, pop that out, and then underneath there was these 2. There's probably 2 over here. Yep, there are, but they were also a bit smashed, so I'm not sure quite how much help they were. So looks about 8, 6 on the top.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that. They're just Phillips screws. They're really easy to take out. So those out. There's also 2 in front of the radiator here. And you just pop those out, whole thing comes off. Pretty simple. As you can see, we put the screws back in the holes just so we don't lose them. It's trying to easier than trying to hang on to them and put them somewhere safe. So next step is going to be try and see if these are just what hold the fender together. And I know that there's also several under the fender mounts here. There's several in here. I'm not sure which of those go to holding the fender in or not. So we're just gonna have to do some digging, do some looking, look around in here too, and see what we can figure out as being the actual important bolts. Alrighty, so good progress on the fender so far. We're pretty sure we should be able to get it disconnected. So far what we've done here is there's 1 right there, 2, these 4 up along here, and those are all the 7/16. And there was 2 here that are 1/2 inch. There's 1 right here and 1 right here, and there's this electrical stuff in here we're gonna have to take out, and we'll figure out how to get that off and which of those are really important to get connected. Oh, and one thing I probably should have mentioned is, especially once we're getting to the electrical bits, you want to make sure you disconnect the terminals from your battery, preferably both of them. We're getting the one off now, we'll get the other off in just a moment. But that just makes sure there's no major chance of you getting electrocuted. In addition, so far we also have, I don't know how well you can see them, but there's this one here and this one here. Those are both 1/2 inch, and those need to come out. Underneath here there is this one, which I can't quite get out yet. It's loose, it's just not coming out, but we'll probably pop it out. But there's one here, there's one here, this one, and then one more over here, one here. And those are all of the 7/16. On that, there's one in here, one up here, and one up here. Those are also 7/16. And then there's this one in the back here. That is a 1/2 inch. That'll have to come out. We're gonna get that out, and then the electric stuff, and see if we can pop that fender off. So we're gonna get back to that and see what we can get going. Alright, got that other terminal disconnected. Got all those disconnected. Those are 3/8 inch and they just removed like that. On some of the older models, I'm pretty sure those are actually connected to that, and you'll have to, it's not like with a bolt. I might take a look on the 85 and see, but got those disconnected. Oh, this also needed to be disconnected. I don't think I mentioned that. And there is one more that I forgot to mention. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it in here, but it's right in there. Alright, one more time. I forgot two more. So there is one right here and a little bit further under. There is, where are my hands at? This one right here. So these two also got to come off. And I think we're really close. It is starting to move. So I want to get those two popped off, and I think we should be able to get her off. Alright, moment of truth. I think I got all the bolts out. Everything seems pretty loose. That front does seem to be a bit stuck, but I think that's partially because it got damaged. But if I can get that front off, I think that fender will come off. So I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, well, if you remember I told you that one bolt that wouldn't come out. That is being quite a pain in the ass right now. So, it's right here. And if I grab my socket that I keep putting in the wrong place at the wrong time, it's like free spinning, but it's just not, it's not gripping on anything, but it is definitely stuck. So I'm not really sure what to do, but I'm gonna keep wedging on it and keep trying to get it loose, and I'll check back in when we get that taken out, hopefully. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I want to do one more quick video, start to finish, showing everything that needs to come off, so that you don't have to watch this 18 times to figure it out. So we have these two, and then going up we got 4 along here, and these holes you can see. There are 2 here. There is this one back here. There is this arm that disconnects from about here. There's one here and one here. These two. You got to disconnect these 4 bolts here. There are 2 big ones up here. There's one in the door here. There are 2 under here that you got to get, and then there is several along the inner fender here, and there's also one back there, and several 3 in here. So if you get all those off, it should come off pretty straightforward. Again, this might vary a little bit on some of the different older models or even some of the newer ones, but at least for the 90, and I think a couple around the 90, that should be the process to get that off for you. You are not going to touch this. You are not going to steal my thunder. I'm literally one piece away. It's just coming out of the clip. There you go. I'm going to find that clip again. That thing's loose now. Well, I was going to help you. Let go. You're pulling it right. Okay, well, That was a big pain in the butt, but we got it off. We're gonna see if we can try and get either the other fender or the front or both off. Wow, we're gonna get both off eventually. But if we can get them separated into pieces and break it off that way, we can, and that'd be great. Otherwise, we're just gonna try and take them off altogether, and we'll see how that does. All right, so we're really bad at doing things with a camera view because we get a little excited, but took the radiator out too. Not super complicated. There are 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side, and then on the cowl connected to the radiator there's 2, 1, 2, and we put those back in the radiator, so the cowl is now free, the radiator's out, and we took the heater core out as well and just set it up here for now. That's probably where we're gonna leave it for today. Kind of starting to get a little cold, get a little tired, get a little sore. So next plan is probably to either take the front off and then the fender, vice versa, or maybe just pop the whole thing off as one go, and also probably try and get the inner fenders out as well. Not entirely sure what more needs to be done for those, but we can start to figure all that out next time. One other thing I should have mentioned probably too is we did have to take the wiper cowl off in order to get to the big stud. This one and the one on the other side, just these two, in order to get the fenders off. On the slightly older models, not sure the exact year, but as an example, on the 85, there's just a little clip on the wiper that you need to pull to pop these off. These ones do not have that. These are just on, and you just need to pop them off. Problem is that, especially if they sit for a long time, they are really hard to get off. And I'll be honest, I'm glad we didn't have any footage of that because it was embarrassingly difficult to get those off. But those just pop off. There's like 6 or 7 Phillips screws. Cowl just slides right off and gives you access to this and the other one. And yeah, not super difficult. So we'll see where we pick up next time and what we can get done. But that's all for this one. Later.